Hey guys, DeeJay Shelly here, and today I was down in DC DJing a very high-end event. It just ended and I figured I really wanted to bring another video to all of you because I've been receiving a lot of questions from some of you about pricing. How do you price yourself out? How do you sell clients? Where do you even know where to start when you start pricing your packages? So I wanted to touch on a couple of those things today that hopefully will be helpful to all of you. So whether you're a beginner DJ or a veteran DJ like myself, or you're a lower price DJ, or you're charging hundreds of thousands of dollars, pricing is always tough for all of us, no matter where you're at in your career. I know it's definitely something that has always been a challenge for me. So first I want to talk about why is pricing so difficult for us? Number one, I think, for me personally, it's because I love what I do so much. And I know that you do too. And sometimes it feels hard to charge people for that because you love it so much. But what I learned when I was in the corporate world, I worked as a liaison between the marketing team and the IT team. And I saw that a lot of these IT guys were making a lot of money and they loved what they did. I mean, they would be up till 12 o'clock at night working on computer problems. The other thing I realized is that we always had to rely on them because no one else knew how to do it. So I started thinking, why am I worried about charging for something that I'm working hard for and I'm passionate about just because I love it? So I started changing my way of thinking around, and then I also went to other DJs who have been in the business longer than I have to look for them for advice. So now that we kind of, touched a little bit on the top of why it seems kind of hard to charge for the pricing, let's talk about why are you charging an amount, or why are you charging someone for the service that you do as a DJ? Well, they could just use an iPod. Well, of course they could, but as an iPod, do they have a sound system that's going to be enough for a party of 150, 200, 350 people? Do they know, are they experienced if something happens with the computer equipment that they know how to fix it? Do they even want the stress of time preparing playlists or worrying about if their guests are going to dance or not? An iPod can't read a crowd. The other thing is, when you're thinking about the value that you're bringing to the table or why you're charging an amount, it's your time, it's gas, it's tolls. My wire bag alone probably cost over $1,000 because I have backup wires, I have XLRs, I have RCAs, I have all these types of connectors, your speaker stands, backup hard drive, and your microphones. Like, there's so much that goes into being a DJ. So number one, you're charging people just to show up. Do they know how to set up the equipment? It's laborious, and especially if you're DJing events that are more than 150 or 200 people and you're bringing assistants with you, or even if you're bringing assistants with you because it's a wedding or a corporate event, that still you have to pay that other person. So all of these things come into factor. Not to mention, we all know that a 4-hour event is not a 4-hour event. A 4-hour event to a DJ can sometimes be 6 hours. It can sometimes be 15 hours depending on what it is because of setup time and breakdown time. It's your time talking with your client, consulting them on music, finding out what music they want to play and preparing your playlist. So when you're thinking about your pricing, you really want to keep all of these things in mind and realize how valuable you are. The next thing you want to think about in pricing, okay, do you show up? What does your system look like? What type of system is it? Is it top of the line, quality, supreme sound system equipment? Or is it the cheapest equipment that you could buy just because either maybe you're just starting out, maybe you just do it as a hobby? Well, obviously your pricing is going to be different for that because people are going to have different expectations. The other thing you need to think about in your pricing, are you showing up in a t-shirt and jeans with your t-shirt hanging out? Or are you showing up in a fashionable dress that you spent lots of money on so that everything about the event is amazing? What does your setup look like? Do you have a DJ facade? What does your DJ facade look like? Is it a super high-end DJ facade, or is it something that's just more basic? These are all things that are going to affect your pricing. So now we talked a little bit about what goes into thinking about what your pricing is going to be. How do you actually come up with a number? So this is challenging, and you don't have to limit yourself to just one number. I charge different amounts for different types of jobs because all of the events that I do are different. Some of my events require hundreds of dollars in costumes. Some of the events I do are 700 people, some are 1,000, some are 200. So that's totally different because, okay, I have to think about how much equipment am I bringing? How many people do I need to staff on my team in order to make this event a success? So that all goes into it. But if you're talking about just basic starting out, number one, you want to try and research what other DJs are going for in your area, because your specific area is very big when it comes to figuring out your pricing. You don't want to price yourself way out of range, but you don't want to be too low. The next thing, you have to think about all those things I just discussed with you. And are you just starting out as a DJ, or have you been a DJ for a long time? Maybe if you've been a DJ for a long time, maybe it's time to increase your prices. The other thing that goes into the DJing pricing, are you an MC? Are you an entertainer? Or are you qualified in a certain type of music? Or do you just show up and just play kind of whatever at events? If you specialize in a certain area, you may be able to charge more because people are specifically looking for that thing. So this all comes into play. Now, you've decided on a price, you've done your research, you've asked around, you kind of have an idea of what DJs are going for in your area. That doesn't mean you need to go for what those other DJs are going for. You just need to have an idea of where you stand and what you want to charge. So next, how do you go about selling a client? Well, that is a very challenging question, and I'm going to tackle that in my next video. I hope you enjoyed my quick tutorial today on a little bit about pricing. I'll have more coming to you on this because I know it's something that we all struggle with, and I'll share with you how I've overcome those challenges with pricing and how I started as a $200 DJ and now I'm charging a lot more. This is DJ Shelly shelling out. That's my new thing, I'm shelling out now. If you enjoyed my video today, please don't forget to follow me on Facebook, like me on Twitter, add me to your Instagram feed, and subscribe to my YouTube channel. I'm also on Mixcloud, Sounds by Shelly.